Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are exploring a topic that a lot of people have heard of, maybe even joked about, but, I think few of us really understand the mechanism behind it. Hypnotherapy.
It's the perfect subject for us, really.
Yeah.
Because the public image of it is so dramatic.
Right. The stage shows, the movies.
Exactly. And that's just so far removed from the actual practice that professionals describe. We're talking about concepts like, suggestion and the subconscious mind, which, well, they demand a much more serious look.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we didn't want hypotheticals. We wanted to go straight to the source.
Right.
Our mission was to take a direct look at the explanation from Dr. Naz. She's a highly respected, certified hypnotherapist out of Los Angeles. And we really wanted to uncover the fundamentals of the practice from her professional view to understand what she believes this process actually unlocks for people.
And right away, Dr. Naz frames it in a way that's all about proactive change. It's not just, managing a symptom. She defines it as a unique and powerful way to unlock personal growth and positive change. She's setting the stage for these really deep, durable shifts.
An unlocking process. I like that. And that brings us right to the central finding of our review.
Yeah.
If hypnotherapy is the tool, then the key to unlocking all that growth is. It's about getting access to one specific place, the subconscious mind.
That's the engine room. And if you're wondering why that part is so important, just think about this. Some studies suggest that up to, 90% of our daily choices?
90%.
Yeah. Our automatic reactions, our deepest beliefs, our habits, they all run from that subconscious layer, completely outside of our awareness.
Wow.
Our conscious mind, the one that's listening to us right now, is powerful, but it's mostly just executing the programming that's already been set in the background.
So is that why just using willpower often fails? Like when you try to break a bad habit?
Precisely.
You're using the 10% of your mind to fight against the 90%.
You've got it. The conscious mind is this critical gatekeeper. It's always filtering information, judging, analyzing. If you want to make a really profound, lasting change, you have to find a way to bypass that filter and talk directly to the inner programming that's actually running the show.
And hypnotherapy, in her definition, is the structured way to have that exact conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The practical mechanism. If the goal is getting into this powerful hidden part of the mind, how do you do it? What are the tools? Dr. Naz points to two core techniques.
The first step is what she calls deep relaxation.
Okay.
And this is essential. That conscious mind, that critical filter we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's super active when we're awake, alert, stressed out. By inducing a state of deep physical and mental relaxation, the conscious mind basically it gets tired. It takes a step back. It lowers its guard.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The mind has to feel safe and quiet before it lets any profound input in.
Right.
But just being relaxed doesn't change anything, does it? It just sets the stage.
It just sets the stage. And that leads us to the second, and I think the more fascinating part.
Which is?
Guided imagery.
Okay.
The guided imagery is the active part. It's a communication tool. Once that critical mind is relaxed and quiet, the practitioner uses these intentional structured suggestions.
So visualizations.
Often, yeah. Visualizing scenarios or states of being to communicate with the subconscious. And this imagery, it's the language the subconscious understands. It speaks in feelings, symbols, emotions, not logic.
I think we need a concrete example here for everyone listening. When we say guided imagery, we're not just talking about picturing a blue sky, right?
Not at all.
Can you lay out the difference between just passive relaxation and this active guided imagery that's designed to make a change?
Absolutely. So passive relaxation might be, simple meditation or just focusing on your breath. Guided imagery is active. It has an intention.
Okay.
For instance, if a client struggles with performance anxiety, say before public speaking, a classic, right? Yeah. The practitioner would guide them through a really detailed visualization. They don't just see a successful speech. They are guided to feel the calm confidence as they walk on stage.
Oh, interesting.
To feel the clarity in their voice, to see the positive reaction from the audience. They're essentially running a successful rehearsal in the deep mind.
So they're replacing the old programming, the automatic fear, that fight or flight response, with a new automated success program. That must be why Dr. Naz calls it a conversation with your inner self.
Exactly. And that conversation, it's not like a linear dialogue. It's the practitioner planting these powerful positive suggestions while the mind is totally receptive. It's about reframing those old limiting stories.
Not through argument, but through
a visceral imagined experience. It turns the whole session from just a therapeutic talk into like a direct system update for your brain.
This is where we should probably pause and contextualize who Dr. Naz is, because her background is really interesting.
It is.
The source material identifies her as a highly respected, certified hypnotherapist in Los Angeles. It emphasizes her education, her experience, so there's a real professional foundation there. But she has multiple roles.
And that context is vital. Her expertise is listed as a certified hypnotherapist, an energy healer, and a doctor of metaphysics.
That's a powerful combination, a trifecta.
It is. And it demands a closer look because it tells us her view of hypnotherapy is likely way broader than a purely clinical approach you might find somewhere else.
Yes, I have to push back on this a little bit just to play devil's advocate here.
Please.
Doesn't mixing titles like doctor of metaphysics or energy healer with certified hypnotherapist, doesn't that risk alienating people who are looking for purely, evidence-based clinical solutions?
That's a fair and a necessary question.
Oh.
But the way her framework seems to bring these roles together, it suggests a more holistic philosophy.
How so?
Well, for her, the metaphysics part seems to be about understanding the fundamental nature of consciousness itself, of reality, the power of thought. It's the deeper philosophical grounding for why the mind can change reality.
Okay, so the doctor of metaphysics provides the why.
And the certified hypnotherapist provides the how.
I see.
Exactly. And if you view a person as a mental, a physical, and an energetic system, which the energy healer title points to, then you realize that these deep-seated issues, a phobia, a habit, whatever, they aren't just in the brain.
They show up everywhere.
You manifest across the entire system. Her approach suggests that for a truly lasting change, you have to integrate all of those dimensions. Hypnotherapy is just the most direct tool for applying those bigger insights to the subconscious.
That completely reframes the purpose then. It's not just about treating a single symptom like quitting smoking.
No, it moves way beyond the quick fix.
It's about using the power of your own mind as a tool for like a fundamental self-restructuring to achieve the biggest possible vision of your own wellness.
Which is why she stressed personal growth right at the start. It suggests that the successful outcomes depend on engaging with these deeper questions of self, potential, and consciousness. The hypnotherapy is just the practical application of that bigger philosophy.
Okay. With that mechanism and philosophy in place, let's talk about the output. When a person actually has this subconscious conversation, what are they typically addressing?
Well, stress and habits are definitely the big entry points.
Right.
Because they're the most obvious signs of subconscious programming. But we can add two other really high-interest applications. First one, performance enhancement.
Such as?
Think sports psychology, or that public speaking example again. When an athlete chokes, it's rarely a lack of skill, right?
Yeah, it's mental.
It's the subconscious anxiety program taking over and sabotaging the physical response. So hypnotherapy, with guided imagery, lets them rehearse perfection under pressure, making that successful response the automatic default when they need it.
That is fascinating. Using your mind to literally overwrite a physical barrier. What's another key area?
Phobia management.
Oh, okay.
A phobia is often the severe, irrational fear that's rooted in some early subconscious association. Trying to use logic to conquer a fear of heights, for example, it's just futile.
Yeah, your brain knows you're safe, but your body is screaming.
Exactly. The conscious mind knows it's irrational, but the subconscious is running the panic program. Hypnotherapy can help de-link that fear response from the trigger entirely.
So if we go back to our first example, the stress you feel every time an email comes in, hypnotherapy isn't about teaching you deep breathing so you can cope with the stress after the email lands.
No, that would be symptom management. The approach Dr. Naz describes aims to talk to the inner self that created that negative link in the first place, the part that decided emails equal danger.
And update the protocol.
You update the response protocol. The goal is that when the email lands, the subconscious response is just neutral, or maybe even curiosity. You eliminate the stress at the root source.
And that is what leads to the lasting positive change she talks about.
Yes.
The shift happens in that 90%, making the new positive behavior the default. So it requires way less conscious effort.
That distinction is absolutely key.
Mm.
The whole point is to ease the process of personal growth. Because if the internal driver has been updated, you're not constantly battling yourself anymore.
You're working with your programming, not against it.
And that durable self-improvement, that is the ultimate payoff.
I think this framework really helps demystify a practice that, for so many of us, is still shrouded in mystery. We've basically established that her definition hinges on three major components.
That's right. The first pillar is that intentional use of deep relaxation.
Right, to quiet the conscious, critical mind.
The second is guided imagery, which is the structured communication tool. It's the language of the subconscious.
And the third, the target of it all, is the subconscious mind itself.
Which is where all the automatic habits, reactions, and the potential for deep, lasting change. All of it resides there.
So for you, the listener, who wanted to know how hypnotherapy actually works, here's the definition we've distilled from the source. It is the intentional use of deep relaxation and guided imagery to directly engage your subconscious, making it easier to change those deep-seated patterns like fear, habits, and stress, and in doing so, accelerating profound personal growth. It's focused, guided communication aimed right at your inner operating system.
And the final synthesis we get from this deep dive is this understanding that true, profound change, it rarely happens through willpower alone.
Right.
It often requires having that intentional guided conversation with the deeper non-conscious parts of your mind, reframing the narratives that have been running in the background for years.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to consider long after this deep dive is over. If hypnotherapy is essentially having a facilitated conversation with your inner self to rewrite your automatic responses, how much of your daily life, your spontaneous decisions, your emotional reactions, your automatic stressors is currently being controlled by that subconscious that you haven't yet intentionally spoken to?